Hello, friends and family. My name is Josh Chilton, coming to you live from somewhere in America. Today is Friday, March 27th, in the year of our Lord 2026. It's 8:35 p.m. I just finished a full cup of coffee. I'm knocking shit over already. I keep getting this vision of Harry and Marv in Home Alone about to like come in the house, and Kevin McAllister saying, "Okay, come and get me." But before we talk about the potential invasion of Iran, I'm gonna let Kyle Kalinske cook for just a minute or two. I've known about him a long time as a YouTube creator. Haven't always agreed with him. He's further to the left of me on some stuff. But as far as this war goes and tracking the latest news, explaining it to the people, I have to give him props. So salute. So Kyle, I'm going to let you cook for a second and set this.
What's up, guys? Hope everybody out there is having a great day. I have a whole bunch of breaking news here for you. But before I get into that, let me just say, everybody sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack because we have an awesome episode dropping later today with Luke Tollins.
All right, we're going to skip to like right here.
As well. That are
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Tied into their oil industry. But basically, he's convinced a major ground operation will make them capitulate and make them wave the white flag and give the U.S. Basically a total victory. And that's just total bullshit. Like, there's literally a 0% chance of that happening. As I've told you guys, if we take Karg Island or any of the other islands for that matter, I'm convinced they'll just blow it up. Why wouldn't they just blow it up? They'll think, hey, if we can't have this, you definitely can't have this either. So that's terrifying. We also got the news that the Pentagon is looking to send an extra 10,000 additional ground troops to the Middle East. This is according to the Wall Street Journal and a Department of Defense official. An additional 10,000 ground troops. And remember, we already learned that about 50,000 are officially signed up for Operation Epstein Fury. Okay? Not good, y'all. Not good. And as I told you, it's like they don't do these build-ups.
He calls it Operation Epstein Fury. And he appropriately calls, Trump and Netanyahu the axis of Epstein, because this is the billionaire class. This is their war. But what I want to talk about is the fact that, like, why we should not and will not, if we have any sanity, invade frickin' Iran. And it's pretty clear cut. Like, this isn't a moral argument. It's like a physics argument, right? Disguised as geopolitics, like geography, logistics, and like scale. They don't care about our intentions. They don't care about our ideology. Wars are often lost before they even begin, especially, and it's showing now with Trump, like when you have like a dumbass leader with an immense amount of power who underestimates the terrain that they're about to fight in. And so first, let's just talk about Iran's size. It is freaking enormous, like comparable to like Alaska. And if you really look at a world map, you'll see how big Alaska is. Iran is roughly 617,000 or 637,000 square miles. God, I can't see. Texas, don't mess with Texas, is 268,820 square miles. So like we're talking over twice the size of Texas right here. More troops, like if he's talking about sending in more troops and weapons, like that's not going to solve the problem. That's only going to multiply it and put more American soldiers' lives at risk. Like, ask history, bro. Like, big armies that get cocky, like, tend to get humbled. And so we need to realize that. Let's look at, just like on this map, the size of Iran. Like we were in Iraq for, all those years, and Afghanistan for all those years. I don't think either of them are as big as Iran is, right? Like it's huge. Like it dwarfs Texas, it dwarfs California. It's just absolutely huge. And so we need to consider that as we move forward. Like geography can be a fortress, right? Like the Zagros and Alborz mountains, like they're not just scenery, they're natural defense systems designed by the geology of the region itself. And so like they're going to funnel, if we try to like send in ground troops, they are going to funnel invading forces into predictable choke points where defenders like can exploit like ruthlessly because they know this is their homeland. They know the terrain. So it doesn't matter like if we outnumber them, it doesn't matter because we're going to be like in their turf. And like not only do they have like mountains, they also have deserts, and like that's a place of dehydration. You have heat. It puts strain on machinery. Armies don't just battle enemies, they battle exhaustion, breakdowns, and supply shortages. Confidence is going to evaporate once our fellas like start running out of like basic like water and the engines stop working, right? Let's look at this to kind of further illustrate my point. Like, so the red parts are the more mountainous regions. The green parts are the more like green North Carolina, Western North Carolina, mid North Carolina-ish regions. And all these like orange, yellow sections, these are just massive deserts. And so like you can see like if people are trying to mute, like we're not only like choked if we try to invade from any point that we try to invade from, like even with air support, like fuel, food, ammunition, like that's not going to magically appear. We're already having problems with that. Every mile that you get into this country increases the chance that something goes wrong. And I want us to remember the Battle of Chickamauga. The Battle of Chickamauga. You Southern Confederate memorializing people will love this. The Union Army had an army that vastly outnumbered the forces they were trying to overtake in the Tennessee mountains. And so they were trying to get to Knoxville, I believe, and they tried to like go into a valley all cocky and shit because like they were like, well, we have the numbers, we're gonna win, obviously. But the Confederate soldiers, like in the Appalachian Mountains, that was their land. That was my ancestors, honestly, in North Carolina's land. And so like they knew how to like use the mountains to have the high point, which is always a strategic advantage in war, is having the high point and just like slaughtered them, right? So like that's just a microcosm of what can happen in a place like Iran where the mountains are tall and there's deserts and there's not a lot of like ways to get in. And so let's just look and familiarize ourselves a little bit with like these mountain ranges. Like we've got the Zagros Mountains right here. That's the biggest mountain range. All the things you see to the south of this are the Strait of Hormuz. But even remember, I was talking about how much trouble we had in Iraq. Look how small Iraq is compared to Iran. It's just ridiculous. And like, there's so much uninhabited land, and they have lived in this land for generations. If you think Donald Trump and Pete Kegsbreath are going to be able to navigate this terrain, like, you are out of your freaking mind. So basically, it's going to end up like not only being like us being outsmarted all the time completely by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which is who is actually in charge right now, along with, shadow leadership from what's left over in the official regime. That's who's in charge over there. But like, we're not only going to be getting outsmarted by them if we try a ground invasion, but we're also going to be basically facing environmental warfare. The Iraq war showed how terrain can already neutralize like power advantages, manpower advantages, technological advantages. We're already seeing how they can make these little drones and put them in the place of suicide bombers. Like, it's a whole new world out there, and they're way more strategically creative and will be, I would think, in their environment. They are going to cater weaponry and have probably already built the infrastructure to execute said weaponry if an invasion were to take place, because this is freaking Iran. Slide 8, like, again, is just showing more about where the deserts are versus like just the diversity of landscape and choke points again within the region. So I'm saying invading Iran wouldn't mean just fighting an army. It would mean like fighting a regime that is way smarter than us, and it would mean fighting geography itself. Empires have learned the hard way that terrain can outlast like ambition or, just cocky stupidity any day. And it can even outmaneuver a rigorous strategy, much less what we're dealing with in the Trump administration. So the real danger is believing that the United States is invincible and like that we can somehow just use brute force to try to win this war. I'm calling Trump's bluff. I'm calling his bluff. Again, he has few viable entry points. They can be easily defended and anticipated. This terrain is going to funnel troops into kill zones, and that all favors Iran. And the historical lessons, it just demonstrates the resilience of regimes like Iran, and the terrain has slowed offenses and prolonged conflict. That's been shown. Geography has transformed power disparities and ground-led assaults by the U.S. in the past. So why wouldn't it in the future? Iran is a natural fortress. It's going to raise the cost of the invasion. Ground war would likely become prolonged and unstable. And military success is uncertain, to say the least. I think we'll easily lose. And many of your American children will die from it. But that's where we're at right now. So if you're getting anyone in the media trying to convince you that a ground invasion of Iran is a good idea, you know, I suggest like you look at history. Look at I've linked it in the description. Look at the Battle of Chickamauga. I can't even say it. The Battle of Chickamauga in the Civil War in this American soil. And that'll tell you that's a microcosm. That's a little miniature version of what Trump would be walking into, except Trump is way stupider, like, levels of magnitude IQ lower than like a Robert E. Lee or a General Grant. Like, this ain't them. This is the guy from The Apprentice. So we need to think about that. Thanks everyone who watched. Please like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Appreciate you listening. Peace.